How exciting that I get to sit with you.
I know. I miss you, John.
I miss you. We've been trying to get this together for a while, but you you don't live here.
Yeah.
You're busy. You're filming, and God, you're radiant.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy.
Yeah. We were looking through our emails and we saw that like I got to meet you. Hey, first of all, I gotta say I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Like it's just amazing. You've been working forever, but you've also, just as you as a human, from when I met you in 2012, you know, I would love to know what your experience was coming into the studio in 2012. Can I just quickly tell you mine?
Yes.
Crystalline Lloyd sent you,
my
the great Crystalline Lloyd, and she was a big fan of yours. And when you walked in, you were so quiet. You were so quiet.
Can you believe it?
And shy. And the word is not meek, but it was like there was like this entire world going on in your head that was not being released.
Absolutely.
And you read, and it was good, but it was like you could tell that you were a powerhouse that was. You're kind of like, I'm going to use a car analogy, and I know nothing about cars, but you were like a car with like 500 horsepower. I think that's a lot. Adam, is that a lot?
It is.
But you were driving like a Prius.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy.
And I was just like,
I think I had a Prius at the time.
You had a Prius at the time, and you didn't swear. You really were like, you presented conservatively. But it also felt like there was this entire other side of you that was there.
Yep.
And my feeling was you were going to work when you allowed that to be part of who you were. And just I will go later. I saw your one-person show. That was a few years ago, right?
Yeah, a couple years ago, yeah.
It was extraordinary.
Thank you.
And talk about whatever that 500 horsepower was, that got released. So I'd like to know what your experience was.
So me and Crystalline went to church together. I had just had my first son in 2011, and I was just, trying to get my career going. Me and her are really good friends. And I was just very depressed. I didn't have any money, just struggling. And Crystalline was like, you know what? God put it on my heart to pay for you to have a month of acting courses at the acting studio that I go to. And I was like, what? Oh my God, thank you. Like, if I can just get a month, then I can maybe save up the money so I can keep going, whatever. But that would be awesome. So I reach out to you. You set the consultation or whatever. You just bring something in that, you've worked on recently, an audition or whatever. So I did. Brought that in. I did it. And you were like, that was good. That was good. I can tell that you have talent, You were like, how do you feel about being a mother? And I was not expecting that question. Cause of course, in my mind, I'm like, I'm coming to an acting class, I'm just going to act and that's it. But you asked me a very personal question, and it was something that I was struggling with because of course I love my baby, but I had a very traumatic birthing experience, and I felt very detached from, I felt like I was floating above my life, watching my life like this. And, I loved my baby, but I was having what is it called? My mind is going blank. Postpartum, yes. I was having postpartum depression and, all this stuff. And I'm just trying to get back out there of my career and trying not to feel guilty for feeling, that separation. And so when you asked me, how do you like being a mother? It was all of the guilt that I was feeling, all of that stuff came up, and I just started crying. And you're like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
You're like, I'm sorry. I'm like, no. Because it's the one thing about me is I cry. I feel like I cry more than most people. I cry a lot, and I've never felt bad about it. It's just a part of who I am, But in that moment, I was like, I don't know this white man. Like, I just met him. I just met this man. And I'm crying, So I leave. I call Crystalline. I'm like, Crystalline, oh my God. Like, I just burst out crying. I was like, he's going to think I'm crazy, She said, oh no, that's John. Like, she was like, I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to scare you.
You need to get invasive.
Right. She was like, I didn't want to scare you away. She was like, but that's him. Like, it's normal. So I was like, okay. So although I partly felt a little embarrassed, it wasn't really about you. It was more about myself. Like in that moment, I was honestly being completely authentic and honest with myself in that moment, that I don't know how I feel about being a mother, and having to say that was like, you shouldn't be saying, that thought in my head, like, oh my God, you shouldn't be saying that. You should be saying it's the most wonderful thing in the world. And it didn't feel that way for me,
But ain't that the truth though?
Yeah.
And like, listen, now it's 2025 where I think people are much more okay talking about it.
Right.
But, God, it was, I know for Gabby, so much postpartum. As a dad, I'm struggling.
It's hard.
And when you start to, it's really dangerous when you go, this is what I should be feeling.
Yes.
And this is what I am feeling.
Right.
That when there's that disparity, you start to then all of a sudden start judging and like.
Yes, I was very judging myself very harshly. And being in your class, it really was the catalyst of helping me. Like, I couldn't afford therapy, but coming to your class was like therapy. Like, I remember one class, it was kind of early on, we had to tell a story about our life or something, personal stories. And I told a personal story. But after my personal story, you were like, thank you for sharing the story, but I still feel like you're very guarded, And I was honest. I was like, yeah, I am guarded. I am guarded. Like, there's nobody in here that looks like me. I don't really feel like I fit in, and I've had that issue my entire life. Like, I'm around all black people, I still, for whatever reason, I have this feeling like I just don't fit in all the way at work, even being a part of a show. There's just this part of me, for whatever reason, just always feels.
Do you always feel like you're a little bit on the outside?
Yes, I always feel that way.
No matter where, no matter what it is. And so the beautiful thing about life, I'm trying to discover, okay, is this a me problem? Like, am I creating this thing in my head that's telling me that I don't fit in? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it me making this up? Being other.
Yeah.
Is a really, I think, I understand. I relate.
Yeah.
I really relate.
Okay, good.
I really do. It's just having a way of operating where you don't know if someone's really witnessing you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or just projecting something onto you.
Right. And I felt, when I started your class, I felt like you were really trying to see us, like see people for who they were, The
personal story thing, I do want to demystify, like, just for the podcasters. I learned it from one of my teachers, Nicole Dalton, who had her degree in therapy and all that. My parents are therapists, but I found that exercise fascinating. What the assignment was, just tell us any personal story that you think explains why we witness you the way we do. And it is always an incredibly revealing exercise. It can truly be anything. Randall Park had the greatest story ever. He was talking about being an Asian, like a young Asian boy, being other, and being like a little bit of a dork, and having like a crush on a girl, and being in a pool, and how uncomfortable he was, and I don't think she liked him, and it was like, oh, you've made an entire career out of this perspective.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And but what you find also is that certain people have no idea how we witness them.
Right.
None. I had one client tell a story. It's like, well, I just have the greatest mom and dad in the history of the world.
Oh.
And that's not how we witness him. And I remember saying, hey, congratulations on having great parents, but how do you think we witness you?
Right.
Well, I think I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. And the entire class went,
Oh, no, that's not. That's so interesting.
Isn't it? It's fascinating. Try that.
Yeah.
Tell a story. It's a fun exercise.
Yeah.
So that otherness. So you did that. You told that story, and I do remember. Yeah, I remember.
You were like, you're not vulnerable. Like, and I appreciated you, like, calling that out so that I could feel comfortable enough to say, like, what was actually, the fears I was having and the blocks that I was having. And then you did I think after a certain amount of time, you did like a personal evaluation of us or whatever. And I remember you saying, you were like, basically you were like, you're very talented. You just need to know that you are a star. Like, if you embrace the fact that you use Crystalline as an example. You were like, Crystalline, she knows that she's good. She knows she's a star. Like, you just need to have that same confidence. He was like, and if you tap into that, you were like, if you tap into that, you won't not work. And I was like, okay. Like, I really listened to it. You didn't realize how much you were like really helping me open up, and believe in myself and like find myself. Like, it was the beginning of that journey for me, and it affected my entire life. Like, not just the acting part.
I literally have on some of my assignment sheets, and I didn't even recall that, but it says, if you don't believe, no one else will.
Yeah.
And the reality is, it takes a fierce belief, but you had it, but I didn't know whether you would find it.
Right. Yeah.
You found it.
Yeah.
But you found it by really allowing yourself to feel the feels, like it's putting it all together. You're just saying, I can't help it. I'm emotional. I cry.
Yeah.
But in a way, that's saying you're allowing whatever you're feeling to come out. So you got in touch with a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah, I had to. Because I was the queen of, I feel I shouldn't be feeling this. I should be feeling this. That was literally where I was at that time in my life. My whole life, I have been that way.
And you grew up, did you grow up in a very religious household?
Yeah, so when I was young, we went to church, but then when I got to be around 14, my dad became a pastor. So, and he started the church in our house, and then it moved, to community center.
You went to church in your house?
Oh, yeah. It was just me, my mom, my dad, my brother, and my sister. That was the church. And my dad would preach to it. We would have a whole church service in the living room, just us 5, until more people started coming. And then once a few more people started coming, they found a community center, and the church grew and all that. But yeah.
What is that like to have your father be the pastor who's giving sermons
just to
the family?
It was weird, but I understood what my dad was doing.
Do you ever get bored in church?
I have, yes.
Would you ever get bored in your own church at your own house?
Absolutely.
Oh, you would?
Yeah. My dad would preach so long that we would be like, whatever it takes for you to, do I need to act like I got the Holy Ghost? What do I need to do for you to stop and he can preach. My dad is a great preacher. He always has been. But after an hour, and we're kids, we're like, oh my God, it's just us. Nobody else is here.
Do you think that's at all where the performer came out in you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the performer came more from the trauma I experienced as a kid. And I'm the oldest as well. So I think it came from, it's okay. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. Everything's fine. I'm just gonna, I know my family is struggling and all these things are happening around me, but I'm gonna go achieve and I'm gonna get straight A's. I'm gonna be the best daughter I can be and show everybody else that even though my family is struggling, there's good. There's good in our family, and I will be a representative of like the good in our family. I put that pressure on
That's
myself.
a lot of pressure.
Yeah, as a very young child, I put that on myself.
Do you know where that came from?
Well, yeah, I was molested as like when I was 8, and that's where the whole like you keep secrets. You learn how to keep secrets. You don't really know how to do that before something traumatic happens and you're told, oh, don't say anything, or you just feel like you shouldn't say anything because it's gonna blow everything up. So
you did not tell anyone?
Not till I was 12.
Not till you were 12,
Yeah.
and then you told your parents?
Yeah, and then nothing really happened. So that told me that even if I do say something, it's just gonna be hidden,
swept under the
because
rug.
nobody wants to be embarrassed. So I just have to get over it. I have to find a way to get over it. So for me, that meant just kind of disappearing into my own world, putting my energies into, I was a singer and dancer and all that. I didn't start acting until I was much older, but once I found acting, it was like, oh, here's something else I'm good at that I can hide. I don't have to be myself. I didn't learn that I had to be myself until I started working with you. Acting to me was hiding. It was, I can be someone else. Nobody has to see me. Like, I don't matter. It's about the character. So I'm just going to be this character and use it to escape, and then that doesn't work anymore. Like as you get older.
But that's such I was thinking of Ian McKellen, who said, he said before he came out of the closet, acting was that. He said, and then all of a sudden when he came out, he actually started to find honesty and use himself rather than like the escape.
Yeah.
It is so real. That must still be a thing that is part of your the way you're operating and thinking, and always a frame of reference.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. And I thank God for, God has given me a lot of talents and gifts, and I think He did it on purpose because He knew the things I would have to endure as a small child, and I think I needed to be able to escape into creativity. Just to be resilient and to end up how I am today, and we all have our issues and things that we have to deal with, but for the most part, I'm pretty, well adjusted for the things that
Considering, were you ever able to reconcile any of these things with your family?
Yes.
You were?
Yes. And it's an ongoing thing,
I bet.
It's not one conversation, it's many conversations. As you grow, as you get older, as you experience certain things in life, you go to therapy, you have kids, you get divorced, whatever it might be.
Right.
You start recognizing patterns in yourself, and you're like, why do I keep doing this, or where is this coming from? And then you have to have another conversation with your parents or with the abuser or whoever it might be, to keep figuring out who it is that you really are,
Especially when it comes at such a young age, it's like they always say that when you have early trauma, like development stops at that point.
Absolutely.
It just stops. So you're kind of in a constant regressive state. So unless you go back and like truly heal that, there's always going to be some part of you that's just a little bit primitive.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
I've gotten to the point, I think, where certain things will happen and I'm like, oh, okay. Like this is my 8-year-old. This is Danielle at 8 that feels unsafe and doesn't, feels unprotected. Like, okay, how do I comfort her? Because I don't shame her, because that's a part of me,
Yeah, my parents divorced when I was in the 4th grade. Like there was sometimes I just can truly see myself on. There's a day at school I see myself like the day after they announced the divorce or the separation, and you're just like, I can go back to that real quick.
Yeah. So it's a journey.
Aw.
For sure.
Hi. But let's think about, so you came to class, I was looking at your IMDb. You know what's interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Your credits are only like 20 credits.
I know, isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. You just happen to be working. Like, we have Rebel, we have Deputy, we have Law and Order.
Yeah.
I mean, they want you to have a really good job. You know what I mean? They're like, let's not waste the time.
Her on these.
Let's not waste her on this. Let's give her some serious money. And someone's watching out for you. But when you were with, did you have representation when you came to me?
When I came to you, I did.
You did.
Yes, I did.
Were you getting out?
I was with Coast to Coast at that time.
They're good.
Yeah. They were, so before them, my cousin, who's like a second cousin or something of my mom, she had like a little small agency when I first moved to LA. I was with her. So, she sent me on, I got a couple commercials, and then I actually did The Princess and the Frog with her.
I was going to ask you about Princess and the Frog. By the way, there's a woman, Tiana Okoye, who somehow, from my Tuesday night class, lovely woman, she's like, she knows all about you and The Princess and the Frog.
Oh, very cool.
Okay, what is that? It's a musical?
Yes, so it's a animation, Disney animation, the first African-American princess, Princess Tiana. And in 2008, I think it was around 2008, they were looking for a voice for Princess Tiana. So of course I wanted to go out for it, and of course they were like, absolutely not. We want names, So Anika Noni Rose got that role, and so I was like, oh, whatever. So then months later, another audition comes out for video reference work for Princess Tiana.
Okay.
So I'm like, what is video reference? So my agent at the time was like, oh, basically you'll be the video reference actor. You'll act out all of the scenes in the movie. You'll just lip sync to Anika Noni Rose singing, and you'll lip sync to her words, to the dialogue. And the animators will watch you, and they will draw the character based on your movements, because they're doing it the old school way, not the dots or anything. Just dress up in the costume, and you're on a big sound stage. They film you, they draw it, you come back, and you literally see yourself as a cartoon. It was fantastic.
Very
and
cool.
Initially she looked exactly like me, because they were looking at me. As they went on, they kind of morphed like me and Anika's features together, and Tiana has her own look. But so I went to the audition. I'm like, oh, it's just lip syncing. Like, I'm a theater major, like I can be dramatic. So I went in there and did it. I got the part, and I worked with them for 9 months. I did every single scene in the movie. I acted out every single scene, kissing the frog. I even did the scenes as a frog. Like when she turned into a frog and she's doing all the dancing, I did all the dancing as and so they used all my facial expressions and my body movements. So I'm like her spirit. I'm her essence. I'm like what makes her her.
That must have been a magical experience.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then they because I worked.
Were you over at Disney?
We shot it at like a warehouse or something in Burbank, I think. But because they loved me, they asked me to do a voice in the film. So my voice is in the film. I'm a smaller character called, her name is Georgia. But it was a great experience, and I'm a part of history, so I'll always be proud.
Oh, that's
proud
amazing.
Of that. Yeah, it's really cool.
And then I am unclear when, you do that, and then the next thing we know, was it a big deal when you got, in 2016, was it that you got Rebel?
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
John Singleton.
Yeah.
You're the poster.
Yeah. Listen, that was...
I mean, how did you had barely any credits at that point.
Yeah, I had 2 TV credits at that point. One was a guest star on Super Fun Night, and one was a co-star on Mulaney. I had 2 comedy...
And John Mulaney.
Mulaney. That was hilarious. That was a co-star, and then all of a sudden I have my own show on BBC.
Yeah, so what was that process?
So, at the time that I got the audition, I think I was in like the Bay Area. I was in Sonoma doing a musical out there, because I was just doing theater. I had done the Mountaintop in San Diego, and then I was up in Sonoma doing that. My manager.
And you've already had your second child.
Yes.
Okay. So you
Yep.
have 2 kids now.
Yeah. Yep. 2 kids. And, I didn't feel like my career was going nowhere, but it was like going really slow. Hella slow.
It was a Prius.
Yeah, it was a Prius. And I was happy to be doing theater, because I love theater. And I was taking class, when I was here.
Yeah.
So I was doing that little musical or whatever. My manager sends me an email, and she's like, there is a TV movie for BET coming out called Rebel. John Singleton is producing it. I read the description. It was like a brown-skinned woman from Oakland, California with natural hair. And then I was like, oh, that's me. Like, I'm from Sacramento, but that's like up the street from Oakland. And I wore my hair natural. So I'm like, that's me, So I said, okay. So I started working on the material. I had a friend of mine who's a fabulous actress. She would coach me on stuff. So we coached on this for probably 4 hours, because it was 3 pretty big scenes or whatever. Right. I went into the initial audition with Kim Coleman. She was like, she had never met me before, and she was like, oh, I've never met you before. She was like, well, this is great. John loves, fresh faces, And she was like, great job, I'll let you know. So I get the call saying that I have an audition with John Singleton and the other producers. So I'm like, okay. So I was, of course, excited, a little bit nervous, but I had been working on, which I've learned in your class, I've been working on not being attached to outcomes. You gave an example about going in the grocery store, and if I'm picking apples and I'm trying to decide which apple I want, I don't necessarily just pick the first apple that I pick up. I pick it up, I look at it, I might try another apple, just to see which one I want. I'm not attached to that apple because I touched it.
I like that
right?
metaphor.
Isn't that a good?
I don't remember it all. I like that.
So I was like, okay, I'm not attached to the outcome. I'm happy for the opportunity. So I get there in a sea of women that look pretty much just like me, I go in the bathroom. I'm like, I say my prayer because that's what I do. And I said, Lord, thank you for this opportunity. If it is my opportunity, I know you will give it to me because you are God. John Singleton is not God. So I'm going to release it. I'm going to just go in there and do my thing. So I was the second one to go in. I go in, I do the first scene. After the first scene, John goes, I like your flavor. I like her. And there's 4 other people in the room. He's like, yeah, you see what she just did? See, I like you. You black. You black. You are a black woman. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. Now, I'm thinking, okay, he likes what I did. He doesn't want me, though.
I think he broke a lot of rules by doing that. He
Oh,
broke so many
John
rules.
doesn't give a shit. He does what he wants.
You're not allowed to say that.
Exactly.
That's so unfair if you didn't get it.
He does what he wants.
You can't do that.
So I'm like, okay. So then he's like, sit down. Oh, he's like, do the second scene. So I did the second scene. He's like, okay. He's like, is the camera rolling? I'm thinking he's going to make me do improv or something. He's like, keep the camera rolling. He's like, sit down. I was like, okay. He was like, where are you from? I was like, I'm from Sacramento. He was like, oh, you're from the Bay Area? I was like, well, kind of. He was like, well, what have I seen you in? I was like, nothing. He was like, I said, I do a lot of theater. He was like, oh, I love theater. He's like, I love theater actors. Okay. So he's asking me more questions. He was like, what are you doing now? Are you doing a play now? I was like, yeah, I'm doing the Mountaintop in Hollywood. He's like, oh, I'm coming. I was like, Roger Gimbert Smith is directing. He's like, oh, that's my boy. I'm coming. So I'm like, I'm in shock, right? I'm just like, he's like, okay.
You got ambushed with positivity.
Right? So he's like, do the third scene, right? So I'm like, okay, so I do the third scene. He's like, it was wonderful meeting you. Thank you so much. John, I walk out of that room, and there are at least 25 girls still waiting. Like I said, I was number 2. One thing I hate is when I'm in an audition room and a girl walks out and she tries to act like, I just killed it. You guys, there's no, why are you guys still here? Go home.
I'm uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, she comes out. She's like, oh, okay, bye. She's just doing too much. I'm like, okay. So I promised myself I'm not going to do that because that's not fair to them, And I don't know what the hell is going to happen later, and I wanted to cry, to be honest. That was what I wanted. I just wanted to bust out crying when I left. But I held it together. And then I got outside and I started bawling. I called Cheryl, who's my manager, and I was like, she's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I was like, I killed it. She's like, what happened? So I told her what happened. And I said, listen, Cheryl, I don't expect to get this part. But what this was for me was just fuel to keep going, because it's John Singleton. Like, I look up to him, I said, and if he sees something in me, then, sometimes I think, did I make the wrong choice moving here, but this gave me the hope that I needed. So she gets a call 2 weeks later. John loved Danielle.
2 weeks later.
Yeah. Right.
That's amazing. After all that.
Right.
The ambush and then nothing.
Right.
In that 2 weeks, did you have any thoughts of,
Well, I thought about it every day, because at that time, I'm not like I am now. Now I do an audition and I don't even think about it. Yeah. I was like, okay, it's done.
Here we go.
I throw the sides away. Like, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
But that time, I thought about it every day. Like, oh, it would be amazing, And so they called. He said, "Oh, John loves Danielle. We'll contact you after the holiday," because it was,
Sure.
Christmas was coming. January comes around. It's like the second week of January. John still loves Danielle. We'll let you know. February comes. I don't hear anything. So I'm like, oh, well, it said it was shooting in February, so they must have went with someone else.
Right.
I didn't let it get to me. I was doing 2 plays at that time, so I had enough, and I have 2 kids, so I had enough going on in my life to not focus on it. So I was doing Dreamgirls, and this is March. So March comes. It's a week after March 7th. My birthday is March 2nd. March 7th, I was taking a nap. I still remember it. I was taking a nap. My phone rings. It's my manager. Hello? Danielle. I said, what? She was like, I just got a call. They want you to test for Rebel.
Okay.
I said, what? They didn't shoot it already? She's like, no. She said, and it's going to be a TV series now, not just a TV movie. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah. She's like, John wants you to test. It's going to be a 12-hour test. So you're going to have to get out of rehearsal for Dreamgirls. So I go to Dreamgirls. I'm like, hey, I need the day off for this. They're like, oh, we don't know. I said, listen, fire me. I'm not missing this test with John Singleton to be at rehearsal for Dreamgirls. So if y'all can't figure it out, y'all can just find someone else to do, I don't care at this point. This is like my chance, So I do the 12-hour test, and I'm like, I wonder who else how many people can he be testing if he's doing a 12-hour test with me? So I'm like, well, he must not be testing that many people. So I get there, his assistant, who's one of my close friends to this day, she's like, he ain't testing nobody else. It's just you. Wow. She tells me, and I'm like, she's like, so then I talk to him. He's like, I'm doing a trailer. So we spent 12 hours shooting a trailer to convince BET that I was the person that should get the role. So, sorry, let me go back. My manager tells me they want you to test. They call her the next day and say, never mind. The network found somebody for the role, so they're not going to test Danielle. Cheryl does not tell me. She didn't tell me. She just prayed the entire day. She was like, I could not call you and tell you that they changed their minds and that they weren't going to test you. She says, so I just prayed in my closet the entire day. And the next day they called and said, okay, we're so sorry for the back and forth. We are going to test her. Because they offered it to like Erykah Badu or somebody, and the deal didn't go through. So they were back to me. So actors, this is what we say. When something is for you, it's for you. And nobody can take it away from you. This is an example of that. I do the test, and then he does makes the trailer, shows me the trailer, comes to see me in the play. Yeah. And I still feel like I'm auditioning because they haven't told me I got it. He even came to see me in the mountaintop. And then, of course, after he saw me in the mountaintop, he's like, oh, I definitely want her. So probably 3 weeks after that is when BET finally was like, okay, we don't know who this girl is, but if it's who John wants. So, but he was like, that is who I want. They would say, oh, what about her? What about her? He was like, I want that little girl from Sacramento.
Oh my God, that's the greatest story.
And I didn't know John from anywhere.
But, you know, it's like a recurring thing. I've been thinking about it so much lately. It's you know what? There's a reason that you're telling the story today and that you're here. Because you got to get to this place where, A, you release from the result, but you truly have to believe. Mm-hmm. You have to believe.
Yeah.
Why not me?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't believe why not me, it's like, I'm going to go in there where you're not just trying to survive.
Right. And I realized I didn't really believe I deserved it. That's what it was. I didn't believe I deserved to be, it's like I wanted it, but it was like inside, it's like I didn't feel I deserved it for whatever reason. And it was probably the religious part of me, like, you've done this wrong, you've done this wrong, you've done this wrong.
I don't think feeling like you deserve anything I don't think deserving is healthy. I think you feel like I've earned.
Oh, earned, okay.
I've earned
like
the
that.
right to be in the. Like,
yes.
Like, you know what? I've earned the right to be like, my turn.
That's what I mean. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Feeling
but deserving
I agree.
I think is a little dangerous.
That's true. Right.
Because I know people feel they've deserved it. I was like, you didn't.
That's true, because I've gotten a lot of things I didn't deserve.
But I think that there's no way that John Singleton goes if you go in there needing it.
Right.
You don't get it if you need it, or if you're still seeking a validation in that room. You're not getting it, because we don't cast someone out of pity.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's, God, if you can just go in there and be like, this is me, buddy. You know, like I'm walking in here okay with myself. I'm leaving okay with myself, no matter what you say.
And everything that had kept me from booking a job up to that point was everything he liked about me. I didn't have anything on my resume.
Exactly.
I've had natural hair, which was really not in style yet. It became in style after I did Rebel. Then it was like everybody was showing up with kinky curly hair, but that wasn't really the style.
That wasn't the style.
So
back
before
then.
I think it was probably 6 months prior to that audition, I was like, I'm not straightening my hair no more. Fuck this. I'm gonna wear my hair the way I want to wear it, and I'm gonna stop doing stuff.
You're wrong
because
for everything. You're wrong for everything until you're right.
Exactly.
And that's just it. I mean, you could be chasing the right, but then you go there. Now they're looking for what you were. So anyway,
just be you.
And then so that could cancel after 7 episodes.
No, it was 10. We had 10 episodes. Oh, no,
so it played a full season.
8 episodes.
It did a full season.
Yeah, we did not get a second season. I was devastated.
I bet.
Okay.
And it was BET, so I'm sure it didn't pay too well.
It did not pay well at all.
Yeah.
And it was my first time being on a show as a series regular. It was not the greatest experience with that network. I was devastated a lot about the way I was treated. Oh. Yeah, because I was a nobody. And they were like,
not by John.
John was amazing. John treated me amazing. But the network, some people at the network, it was just they were very dismissive of me. They were, they cast a lot of known people around me, which makes sense. Method Man, Michael T. Williamson, Giancarlo Esposito. I got to work with all these people my first time, out. So it was great for me. But they also treated them like they were the leads of the show. But I was the one everybody was going to see every week, They didn't really give our show a chance. It was one of their first. It was one of 2 of their first, scripted series.
You were being othered again. Exactly. And so that feeds into that narrative.
Absolutely.
And so you get re-othered.
Yeah. And then even in the industry, going to events, going with John to events, it's like, well, who is she? A lot of the actresses, I'm sure, that I ended up meeting went out for that role or were up for that role. So I've always kind of felt in this industry, I'm just that other narrative is still there. And the fact, like you said before, I have a very unique journey. I didn't have 100 guest stars and 50 co-stars and recur. I've only had one recur. I've had 3 series regulars, 1 recur, 2 guest stars, and a co-star. Those are my TV credits.
Think about how lovely that is. You've had the great fortune of being like, I don't have to go in week after week after week after week for this thing.
Yeah.
Then that goes, you have that experience under you. Then you get deputy.
Yes.
And
after not working for 2.5 years.
After not working for 2.5 years.
2 years. I did Snowfall right before deputy.
And so, wait, was that series regular on Snowfall?
No, that was a
That was
guest
their
star.
that was
And that
good.
was, John died while I was shooting my episode.
God.
Yeah. And I was talking to John, like, John, you got to bring me back on the show. Like, he was like, yeah, I'm working with the showrunner to try to bring you back as a recur or something. He was like, but you'll be fine. He was like, you're going to be fine. And I was like,
Did you go to his funeral?
Oh, absolutely. I was there when he was in the hospital.
Oh.
Yeah, I sang to him while he was in a coma. I sang to him. I was at his funeral. Both of them were. Well, yeah, he had like a couple different celebrations, but yeah, he was an angel for me.
Oh.
Like, he was the one person that I was like, okay, he sees me. He understands me as a talent, and
That's one of my favorite
He
stories
changed
of all
my
time.
life.
That
Yeah.
audition story. What about you, Adam? That's one of my favorites ever.
so cool.
Okay, and then you do deputy, and does that get canceled?
Yep,
And that
one season.
One
I was
season.
like, oh, see.
That's Fox, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I ain't never going.
But during that 2-year hiatus, were you just going back to theater, or were you?
No, I was auditioning a lot. Like,
That's right,
Yeah,
yes.
I was testing constantly. Like, and it would always be between me and another girl, and the other girl would get it.
Right.
Or one time, both me and the other girl didn't get it because they were like, they don't have enough of a following. We need a bigger name.
And this was like in 2018.
Yeah, 18, 19, yeah. So I was
Following.
devastated. There was a couple, I think I had an audition for Man in the High Castle, which I loved that show. And I had tested to be a series regular, and I was really hoping to get that and didn't get it. I was devastated. And then The Rookie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, The Rookie, I had I tested for that. They called my manager, was like, they love her. We'll be calling you soon to offer her the role. They called and was like, sorry, never mind.
Right.
So I was like, what? Like literally thought I had the part and then didn't. And then 2 weeks later, I booked deputy.
And now, and what's crazy is, now here you are. You've just done 75 episodes as the number 2 on Law and Order.
Yeah.
The
Dun, dun.
the great gift of Law and Order.
Yeah.
What is it like? Because I remember you were working with the studio. I think you ran stuff with Michael Tennant.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
running
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And reran it.
And during COVID.
During
the
COVID,
Zoom, we were doing Zoom.
when you get, that's the whale.
Man, that was a huge
I'm about
blessing.
to do a podcast later with, do you know Miranda Mayo?
Yes.
Miranda, who's
Yeah.
finishing season 10 of Chicago Fire.
Right. Yeah.
That's crazy. And they just don't hand out those jobs anymore.
It was a huge blessing. I got it during the pandemic.
Yeah. Did you think you were in the, when you read it, were you like, yeah, no, maybe?
Oh, I didn't read it. So this is what happened. I auditioned for Chicago Med and the new Law and Order that was coming out. Didn't hear anything back from the new Law and Order, but I booked Chicago Med as a recur. And I was like, okay, I just need a job. It's the pandemic. I have been out of work for at least 8 months at this point.
Yeah.
So great. So I go, I do that, never hear anything. This was in October. Never hear
Remember
anything.
those Zoom classes we would do?
Yeah. Yes. And we
Yeah.
used to have talent show nights. That was
Yeah.
fun. But went and did it. Cut to January. My manager calls and she's like, Jonathan Strauss called and said he wants to present you to the producers of Law and Order Organized Crime. And I was like, didn't I audition for that? Like back in September?
Yeah.
And she was like, did you? And I was like, I think. I was like, well, let me send you the tape. She sends it to him. He's like, I never saw this. I'm sorry, actors. I don't mean to freak anybody out, but
I think that happened with Megan Mullally with Will and Grace. Like she had
for,
taped.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. For whatever reason, they didn't see my tape. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna send her work from deputy, rebel, whatever to them. he was like, and I'll let you know. I said, okay, well, when's the audition? She was like, I don't think there's an audition. I was like, what? So I said, okay. They call back next day, I think. Okay, they want to, Dick Wolf has signed off. Dick Wolf has signed off on you for the role. I said, wait. I'm like, when's the audition? She's like, there is no audition. I was like, what? She was like, they just want to do a Zoom with you and the director, the producing director. He just wants to get a feel for how you work or whatever, but they want you for the show.
What?
I was in shock, John. Like, I was just like, what? So I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be the audition, like the Zoom. I was like, they're going to record it. You know what I'm saying? They did not record the Zoom. I just worked with the producing director, and he was like, can't wait to see you on set. Then I get a text message from Chris. Welcome to the family. Can't wait to go on this journey with you. And I'm like, what? I had to pack up my apartment in Woodland Hills. I had to pack up my apartment in 3 days, put it in storage, and go to New York to shoot Law and Order, Organized Crime. This is my life. Like, I be feeling like I don't get anything because you see how many credits I have.
Yeah.
But it's like, I be frustrated. Like, why can't I just get a guest star? Like, why can't I just get like a really good recur or something?
I think a lot of people.
That's
trade
just
places
not
with
my.
you.
It's not right. It's not. That's not my path, and I have to be okay. You know. So even in moments like this, where I don't know what's going to happen with the next season, I just got to be like, hey.
I mean, listen, you're a hard person to hide.
Thanks.
You know, but I think that's honestly it. It's what essence-wise, presence-wise, you're not the.
Yeah.
We're gonna recall you, and sometimes with a guest star, we don't want to recall you
Right.
as much. No, not in a bad
right.
way.
No, you're right. Yeah.
I didn't get it. I remember I didn't get a job on. There was a part I fell in love with on, what's it called? I loved it. House.
Oh, I love House.
I loved House.
That was
and
so
there was
good.
I always wanted to be on the show, and there was this one guest star that says possible recurring, and I like a big monologue and all that. And I'll never forget. I was like, I want that. I don't know. You wouldn't do that. I didn't want this. I prepped. I felt so good going into that room. I left feeling great. I got that pin in me, and you're just like, I'm getting this. I did not get it, and I watched it. You know, it was really interesting. The guy who got it was so vanilla, so boring, but good. And I was like, oh, I was approaching him like
Yeah.
I was going to be on the show.
Right.
They wanted to not even he was forgettable within a second.
And sometimes
And
that's
you're
what
not.
they want. Yeah.
You're not.
And did the guy look like you that they cast?
Not at all.
Because you look like House.
Oh, well.
You look similar to him. Like, I
I'll
think
take
sometimes I also think sometimes that's a reason why
Sometimes.
you don't get it. Because it's like, they look too.
But what's it like being part of part of that? That is
Yeah.
Did you feel any pressure or did it
Yeah,
feel
I
like
was
any
nervous.
other job?
I mean, I felt nervous because it's so funny. It's so stupid because I did earn it because I earned it from my previous work.
Oh, yeah.
But I was like, I didn't audition for it.
No.
So when I got there, I was thinking like, oh my God, they're going to change their mind. They're going to be like, what were we thinking? You know? But when it's time for me, when the cameras roll, you know, I show up, you know, it's like when I get home from work, I'm like, oh my God, I hope I'm not fucking up or, whatever. But it wasn't until the end of the first season, which was 8 episodes, then I was like, okay, I'm on Law and Order. But the whole first season, I was literally, once again, looking at my life and I was going through a divorce, and it was really bad at that time. So it was like the greatest thing that could happen to me was happening, and then the worst thing that could happen to me was all happening at the same time.
I remember talking to you during that, and you were
Yeah.
you were obviously grateful for the gig, but life was also you're like,
Lifing,
life
yeah.
does not stop.
No.
But
Yeah.
we're gonna have to wrap up in a sec. But I do want to ask, and this is just something I think is really, you're here, and you've always spoken so well about it historically, and just being a black woman on a show, and just it's just such a thing that sometimes is not always talked about because people aren't comfortable talking about it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Speaking of other, people don't want to talk about it because they don't want to make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
But you somehow coming out of your particularly delivery system, it feels thoughtful, and it feels thoughtful, and you have the data.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not you trying to complain. It's you saying this is a reality. You know what I mean? Which we should all just percolate
Right.
on, think on,
Right.
to think about what can we do better.
Yeah.
So what is it like in all, like, I know John Singleton, great, but then again, you got, like, what I'm hearing is you got dismissed by the higher ups. Like, oh, but she's just a new, like, we don't care what she really has to say.
Right.
We don't care about input.
Right.
But then you also have to deal with, like, writers writing for a woman of color. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How has that experience been?
You know, I think it's taught me how to advocate for myself.
Okay.
And to not be afraid. I think one thing Black women have been afraid of over the years is to stand up for ourselves and to advocate for ourselves, because then we get labeled as like the angry Black woman or being difficult or being a diva. So I definitely lean on my team a lot, but then there's microaggressions that happen on set. There are things that are said by studio executives that are microaggressions as well, and being able to say, hey, like, let me let you know why that was inappropriate for you to say to me.
Yeah. It's always scary to be the squeaky wheel.
Yeah.
Even if it's if you're absolutely the right person to do it.
Right. But if we don't say anything, then we're just unhappy. Everybody else is living their lives like it's golden, and we're over here like, feeling like we're not getting what we need to get out of what we're doing. On the hair tip, ever since, they really messed up by giving me John.
You got spoiled.
Yeah, because I'm like, I want to wear my hair natural. I want to, I want to be able to have someone who can do my hair. And that has been a real big issue in this industry, is making sure, unless I'm on a Black show. I just did a movie with Tyler Perry. It was fantastic. I had no issues at all. Anytime Tyler wants me to come back, I'm coming. It was great.
Okay.
But in a lot of these other situations, there has to be this conversation. There has to be, well, what is it that you're looking to do? Because, we don't want you to do anything where you're going to make a statement. Well, what does that mean? Like, make a statement?
What is a
I just
statement?
want to change my part from here to here. Why are we talking about that? I just want to wear my hair up in a bun. What statement am I making by doing that?
Yeah,
so,
that's interesting. I would love to be a fly on the wall for that conversation.
So it was very interesting, a lot of the things you have to face. But then you still have to show up. You still have to be excellent at what you do. Yeah. You treat people with kindness. That's what I do. It's like everybody who works on our set, we are a family. I treat everybody the same. And I'm immensely grateful for where God has brought me and the opportunities that I've gotten. But I'm gonna speak up for myself, and I'm going to advocate for myself because I have to, because there's a whole bunch of Black women coming behind me. And, I'm grateful for those that came before me. So whatever little door I can open or help in some way, that's what I want to do. But being a part of the Law and Order universe as a Black woman in the number 2 position is historical.
This has been the biggest joy. And I want you on again.
I will have to come back.
I want you on
back,
again.
for
There's
sure.
so much to talk about.
Absolutely.
I'm just, what I love is, I'm really happy for you, but like you're still on your journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're still on your journey. I feel like I'm getting you I feel like you're here right now with all these chapters that are in the middle of being written.
Much more to go.
So much more
Absolutely.
to go.
Yep.
All right. I love you.
I love you. That was so fun.
That was great.
#Act Your Life is a John Rosenfeld Studios podcast, produced by Pave Path Productions. Filmed by Haley Tucker, sound engineering by Haley and Adam Tucker, sound mixing and original music by Brandon Liu and Brandon Liu Music. To learn more about John Rosenfeld Studios, visit www.johnrosenfeld.com.